What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Wine of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we are here with shipment number 3 of the Millennium Falcon. Oh man, I'm surprised this one showed up. It showed up a little late in the day. I'm going to go ahead and try to shoot this, edit it, and release it, and I think I should be able to do it with the new PC that I got. So yeah, I wasn't expecting this to show up. I've been waiting for it to show up, but Fanhome sent me an email saying, "Hey, we're a little delayed for the holidays, and we'll get it shipped as soon as possible." Didn't receive any tracking on this one, which is rare. So yeah, I did pre-open this one, thinking maybe it was Stage 4's replacement of the frame. They shipped me Stage 5 by mistake. I'll when we get into the build for that one, I'll kind of explain how that happened. It was kind of interesting. I was just so blown away by their customer service. Anyway, so I did pre-open this one real quick, but without further ado, let's just go ahead and get this one open here. All right. So now something interesting here. The Enterprise does 4 stages per month, and so far the Falcon has done the 2 initial stages, and then this is obviously shipment number 3. And so I don't know, maybe this just for this one, but here we have 5 stages in the box. So kind of going backwards here, we have stage number 11, which does have a frame piece, which I'm curious if I'm going to be able to do anything about right now. We'll get that is definitely going to be recorded later on for sure. We have stage number 7, which is going to be what we're going to be working on today, I believe. Okay, stage 9, which is a whole piece. Oh, a battery pack, and we can start testing some wires. Oh, cool. This next couple episodes are going to be super cool. I'm really excited about this one. Stage 10. And there are some frame pieces in here, so I'm curious how this is going to wind up playing out, if I'm going to be able to do much until I get that frame 4 replacement. Like I said, I'm going to be showing up later on in the week, and this one's kind of a surprise. I wasn't quite sure when this was going to show up. So yeah, and this is going to be stage number 8. So yeah, today, let's go ahead and just take a look in here. Then we have our magazines. We have 7. 8. 9. Talking about the armored hull. It's kind of cool. It's interesting, like, more magazines in this one than the Enterprise. Enterprise, you just get 1 magazine for the whole thing. And then number 11. So yeah, 5 stages in here. So pretty excited about it. We got all of our stuff put together. We are ready to record. And yeah, so we're going to start out actually today with this unboxing, obviously. And then we're going to be doing stage number 7. But before we get to stage number 7, I've got to stop and finish stage number 6. There was a couple comments, pointed out some things I was doing wrong. I went through and glued up some pieces and took care of myself, and so we're ready to finish up stage number 6. We're going to move on to stage number 7, and we're going to keep this video as short as we can today, just so I can get it out and spend some time this week getting everything ready to go. I'm expecting the Enterprise to show up here soon as well. So let's go ahead and stop talking and start building, shall we? All right, so here we are, and there's no time travel in Star Wars, but I gotta say, it feels like I'm going back in time a little bit. I really struggled with putting these pieces together a lot, and I gave a lot of criticism to the model. Now, some of that criticism, as I have found, is justified. We're gonna have to do some work, and it's gonna be much more of a custom model as we go along. And that's totally fine, and it's already been the case with this stage. So this is kind of the culmination of putting together the stages 5 and 6 and kind of bringing everything together. These two pieces, along with this, really don't go into place here. They say hold it off until later. I'm going to go ahead and fit them in place as a proof of concept. I was really frustrated, but I also, some tips and tricks were brought up in the previous video, and I really appreciate. I will go ahead, and I can't think of the commenter's name. I'll go ahead and throw his name up on the screen now. I really appreciate the point out that I had this thing just completely upside down. I was trying to build it as if it comes out of this side of the Millennium Falcon, even though it comes out like this. So, you know, the cockpit's over here, and then you got the front of the ship, you know, so forth. So that's where it started. And then what I have done over the last month, you know, very carefully and time consuming wise, I went through and with clamps and with super glue, I went through and made sure all the chairs are all nice and affixed into place. These side pieces are nice and solid. Everything in here has been glued down. I did lose one of the control arms. I'm not going to try to replace it. It was really, really frustrating trying to deal with all of that. A lot of it probably user error, if I'm being real. But at the same time, we're going to watch as Baby Yoda kind of slides into the frame here. We might pull him a little bit more forward. I don't know. He's stayed before, and now he's not. You know. Anyway, so, yeah. So, you know, I didn't want to spend too much time like worrying about that, because in the end, it's just a small, minuscule piece, but a very important piece. And so I wanted to take the time to make sure that the chairs were all put into place. And with the tip and trick that I got for this piece here, yeah, let's just say that putting this together is going to go much easier. So let's go ahead and just finish up. I do have the magazine here for stage 6 if I need it, but really just in the end, I just need to pay attention to what I'm doing. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to put that into place. And now we can put this piece in here. So there's a big cut in there. I had to make sure that I was getting my pieces in, putting them in correctly, and making sure everything was lined up. This is not, even with, I gotta say, even with the corrections that I've made, it is still a really tough and difficult piece to get into place properly. But once it's in place, it seems like everything's gonna be nice and tidy. What I am gonna do is go through after we record and glue down these pieces to make sure that they do wind up staying in place. So now, and the commenter brought up that this was on the bottom, and I was like, oh my god. And then I started doing the math, and then I was like, oh my god. So yeah, some of my criticisms just justified, some of them not. So I can already tell right now that this is going together much cleaner and nicer. Everything looks like it's actually fitting in correctly, and as you can see there, just to get here in the last episode took so much editing, and it wound up never getting there, and really it's just super frustrating. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pieces, this one here, and it goes in. I can tell that now this is going to, the collar is going to slide right into place. Easy peasy. Wow. So, yes, and as proof of concept, this will slide right into place right there. This will slide right into place down below here. And yeah, you know, I gotta say, this is super satisfying here. I'm not supposed to be doing this in this order right now, actually. The color. There we go. And it kind of lined up so it kind of pops in. All tabs line up. There we go. Wow. Yeah, so, you know, definitely like reading my instructions properly first. Definitely would have helped. And, like also as well, understanding that this model is going to be finicky. Um, this is going to help. It's going to help my frustration level. I feel like I was maybe a little too critical of the model last time. So this is not going to be affixed truly fully into place until you get the window piece. But proof of concept, that is stages 5 and 6 from our last episode actually complete. And to be honest with you, this feels now super solid, especially with all of the pieces that are glued down now. So here we have the inside of the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. Actually completed. Awesome. So thanks for the comments. Thanks for the patience as I've kind of struggled and get building with this. I know that this is actually one of the more finicky parts, and so here we are. Yeah, so let's actually move on to the first stage of the new shipment. Here we go. All right, we are back with stage number 7, and I gotta be honest, I went through and read and read and read and reread this, and I'm realizing that these stages are going to be a little bit more complicated as we're going forward, and I'm curious to see how I'm going to record. There's some painting that they're going to want us to do, and I need to go get the proper colors because all of the stuff that I have for painting is all airbrush related. And although I could probably use the paint, I need to get some brushes still. So we're going to be kind of moving through step 7 or stage 7 here because like a lot of this, I'm going to need to do a little bit of work on going forward. And I'm curious if I need to do just maybe one stage at a time. And that's definitely how we're going to be approaching this one. Definitely like with finishing up stages 5 and 6, and which is kind of funny is what I did was actually the last part of stage 7. So all the gluing and all the different work that I had done on the model, actually they were wanting me to do in the end of stage 7. So I do find that a little bit amusing. So anyway, let's go ahead and unpackage here. And on the Falcon, there's going to be a section where you can lift off the top and look into the crew area of the ship. And so this actually is going to be built upon over the next couple of stages, and we're going to be doing some painting is going to be in these grooves and doing some weathering work. It gives you a bunch of tips on how to do painting inside the magazine, like different effective techniques. I just need to get some brushes. So here is the deck. I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side. And then we have our sprues with the seat backs, and then the cushions here, and then we have the cushion for the around the table. These are the seat backs themselves, and we're going to be working on those today. This is going to be the base from which these are going to, and then we're going to have to be separating everything here from the sprues. We have the base of, I think this is going to be the cap that goes on top of one of the next stages. I was kind of reading forward in the next magazine. And then we have some of our screws. A lot of this is going to be for the next couple stages. So we're only going to be doing just a little bit of work today with this. So get that off to the side. And first, what we're going to do is we're going to be removing our pieces from the sprues. And I'm going to start with the seat back cushion, or the seat cushion backs here. And I'm going to actually be doing some cleanup work as part of the video. And that's kind of why I'm going to be thinking that maybe each one of these stages is going to wind up being its own video, depending, on the technicality of what we're doing. I've been really, like this last week has been a little bit like, when's everything going to show up? Should I do something different? I just wasn't sure, and so Yeah, I think that spreading out the package over the course of a month, and I can actually take more of a time to build each stage, because the Falcon definitely seems like it's going to be a bit of a challenge to build and make stable, and there's a lot of paint work that they're wanting us to do. So, okay, now for these pieces, it's fairly obvious where they want us to remove them. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm getting my snips in the proper spot. And what we're going to be doing before we attach anything with super glue, of all things, what we're going to be doing is doing some cleanup work. So we're going to be sanding off these pieces where I'm snipping them off, just for the sake of, making sure it looks clean and nice. And like I said, if we're going to be painting and doing a bunch of work where, we are, in essence, let me keep each one of these together, because I think each one, sorry, skip ahead. I think each one of these in these rows are going to be for one individual chair, because they do seem to have a different sort of texture on each one. But yeah, so I think, the more technical nature of this would allow for it and allow me for the content. And the Enterprise, I could probably do the same, and the videos could be a little bit shorter, which is also something that I am considering as well. So, and then finally I'm going to separate this one here. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought that I had bought some brushes, but they're just sitting in my Amazon cart right now. So there's that. So I will finish purchasing them. Although I've been, part of I think the reason I hadn't purchased them is I was kind of contemplating how, what's the best way of putting it? I was contemplating, going to a hobby store, and so I just have my nice little file here. It's running along the edge here. Make sure everything's nice and clean. Contemplating going to a hobby store and taking a look at the brushes themselves, because I know that brush quality matters. So, yeah. I think that if I get a chance to do that tomorrow after work, I don't get off until late, but, for the sake of this, I've got all week, so. But I do have the paints and everything ready to go. But because of the technical nature of this, I might make these episodes a little bit more focus on the individual stages. And they definitely, the stages all kind of work off of each other. Definitely noticing that with this build for sure. Yeah, having the different pieces that I'm able to work with like this is really nice. This one was pretty clean. A little bit of work. But having all the tools ready for this, I was, like I said, a little disappointed. Definitely wasn't planning on recording more than this tonight, so, but it does call for a little bit of paint work on the seats to get them weathered up, which definitely makes sense to me. I just don't have the proper brush, so that's what it is. Yeah. I'm going to be much less critical of this build as we go along, because with the understanding that, how we approach this model and the care that we take during the build is going to matter. And there are mods out there. Something that I need to look into. Actually, I haven't, but there are some mods out there, like a door, the ramp, it has a motored piece, which seems pretty cool to me. I'd like to have that. And some stabilization pieces. So thankfully, knowing that these models are a little older, there's definitely people that have modded some things out there. So a lot of 3D printer work. So that's nice and clean. All right, so we're ready to go. So really, all we're going to be doing today is affixing these to this and kind of going with that as being what we're doing today. So I'm going to take some super glue here. Use super glue, the Gorilla Glue super glue gel, which is great. It stays right in place. Don't need to worry about it being super runny, which a lot of super glues are. And what it is saying is being very deliberate. And if you see here, those little tabs right there, not tabs, but inserts, that's where we put the glue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get my glue off to the side here. I'm not going to put it on this surface. I'm not a madman. All right, we got a little dab of glue there. Get it right into place. And to be real, I kind of like the idea of the model, because Han spent a lot of time after Lando spent a lot of time customizing the ship. Same thing. I'm going to spend a lot of time building and customizing the ship. So why not go with it, right? So I'm going to be a little less critical of that. Okay. So that just kind of fits right in there just like that. Very nice. The super glue is pretty quick. So we'll do the next piece. Right there. But I do like the idea of the model being customized and you can make it your own, so to say. Nobody's paint schemes are going to be exactly the same. The airbrush that I have is going to be more for, when I'm building actual models, if that makes any sense. So like an AMT model, for instance, or polar lights, for instance. There we go. It's going to be right in there. Now, there is I see. So one's going to go here, one's going to go there, one's going to go here. So, are they all the same? Looks like they're all the same. So now, I'm going to, are they all the same? That one's flat. Sorry. That one's kind of flat. Where does everything fit into place? I'm just going to go ahead and pre-fit. That does not go there. This one goes there. Right? Yep. So, when I find one that fits, you're going to put some more glue out. It's actually kind of surprising how much I just used. It didn't seem like that much, so I'm going to pour more on the table here. A little piece of cardboard that I pulled out for this. Yeah, I can definitely see where the technicality and the fact that we're actually doing some model work, which is actually pretty exciting. I can see where the logic for having one stage per episode would make sense. Okay, so that went in. I'm going to use my tweezers. I do not want to get this glue on my hands at all. I do not like super glue. I am not a fan of what it does to your skin. And I put that in there. Alright, so that's now into place. And immediately stuck. Wow. Alright, so now ahead and that this piece is the one that goes in the front. And indeed it is. So now, take that. Glue. And I'm getting everything in the proper position. Facing the right direction. Oh, move quickly. Yeah. This glue's drying quick. There we go. Now, there are a couple tabs like right in front, and just small. And there. Right there. And see how that's going to go into place. So. That's cool. Gives a nice little stuck to my finger effect. Yeah. Wow. That was immediate. Okay. So there. One of the chairs put together. Cool, cool. Just like so. Alright. Now, we will repeat the process over here. Just make sure we get all our pieces in their proper spots and make sure that I know exactly where they're going to go. So that one looks like it goes there. Bottom. That's that. I'll make sure I got that in the correct order. So this next part will go pretty quick. Grab my glue. What's funny is I'm using an incense burner piece, or an incense piece for that. There we are. Okay, now glue. Glue up both pieces there. Just a little bit of glue there. This piece fits in just like so. And that piece fits in. Other way. Just like so. Oh, come on. Into place. Gonna let these sit out and obviously dry for a while. I'm doing some editing. I'm also kind of realizing that I need to figure out storage for both of these models. Okay, so that other chair is done. And pretty simple. It seems like we're just going to take some dabs of the glue. So this is the glue I'm using, the super glue gel from Gorilla. And we're just going to take a dab of glue here. And it's a gel, so it stays right in place. It doesn't run anywhere, which is super important. And also doesn't foam up like the regular Gorilla Glue. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this in place. make sure that this lines up properly. And do it without any grace whatsoever, Jordan. And get glue on your hands. Get glue everywhere. Why aren't you fitting? Oh. Oh. Because it goes like this. But thankfully, that glue got stuck somewhere. And there is where it got stuck. Yeah, wow. Ooh. Okay. So, let's try that again, shall we? Wow. A couple drops of glue here. I will say that makes this build unique from the Enterprise, which is great. I imagine that the Enterprise is actually going to be one of my other favorite skills, which is cord management. Okay, so now this only fits in one way, and it's just like that. With that, my friends, the better part of Stage 7 is done. It does have talking about painting, so if you kind of see here, I'll bring it up. Talking about getting, some paint work done on the consoles and on the chairs, doing some weathering. And then the finishing part of Stage 7 is actually doing what I did and gluing up panels and all of that. So, yeah, well, packages here for the month. I'm super excited about finishing this and getting going. I need to go to the store and buy a few things, and especially like places to put all of this stuff, because it is starting to get wacky, the amount of things that I have collected. So, that all said, I really do appreciate your time for watching. I really look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for tips and tricks, have any comments, please leave them down below. And until we see each other again, I hope you have a wonderful day in this beautiful world, wherever you happen to be. And the Force will be with you always.